How's it going?
Hey guys,
Mark
what's up?
here.
And Wes.
And Chase.
And this guy.
There's more than 2 people in Trash Talk. That's because we're welcome to the finale and stuff, right? So,
I know, huh?
Today we're not talking about a game per se or anything like that. We're talking about retro consoles from when we grew up and stuff. So
Yeah, I know. Well, that's awesome.
it's totally freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just get right into it. So our order, to let them know, our order is I'll talk about 2 consoles that I grew up with and stuff. He'll go.
Yeah.
You'll
Then
go.
this guy will go, and then this guy will
Jeremy
go.
Okay, so let's just get right into it. So, my first retro console that I grew up with, that everyone should know at this point, is the PS1. We've got some...
What?
The PS1. We got some... I just... Oh, God, that was nice. So... God, you should all know by now the games I play on it. I've got Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Tekken. I did play a Mortal Kombat game on the PS1. I played Mortal Kombat Trilogy a long time ago, and that game was pretty fun. So there's so many good memories that I've had with the PS1. And
we stare at the camera.
Yeah, I just stare at the camera. So, okay, PS1 is my first choice. I love it to death, and it's really cool.
And I also played the PS1, but I didn't really play too... back then, I know it's going to come as a shock to you guys, I wasn't that big of a gamer back then. I was more of a TV person. I would play games a little bit. I would play on the PS1. I remember I had a few racing games.
What the hell are you guys doing?
We're not talking!
Oh my god.
Just go and do this.
Go on.
Alright, well, anyway. Patty cake rudeness over here. Okay. Anyway, I did have Crash Bash. I remember playing that game a little bit. I would always get frustrated though because my brothers and sisters would beat me in the mini games. That always made me mad. And then I did have a few racing games. I don't remember which one. I might have had Forza, maybe if it existed back then. I don't know. But the game system I remember playing the most out of was actually the Game Boy Advance. Yeah. And I played a lot of games on it. I had a Mario game on there. I had a few other games. I remember I had a Pokemon game.
Oh,
I think it might have been Red.
Was your Game Boy Advance the first rectangular-ish one, or was it the...
yeah, it was like...
Was it really?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was kind of like rectangular.
I wanted that so bad as a kid.
The white one?
Whichever one, the more...
No, it was like a blue one. It was like blue and clear.
Oh, okay. I think I know.
Oh, you meant the clear ones.
Yeah, was that like the first one?
I always thought those ones were weird.
The first ever Game Boy Advance was... It was rectangular, it was...
Yeah, it was rectangular and it was purple.
Okay.
I know.
But there was a silver one. They had...
Yeah, I might have actually had that too. I don't know what happened to it, but I remember I put in some time on that. I was playing Mario most of the time.
My cousin had that. I so wanted freaking one of those when I was little.
If I can remember what Mario game it was the one where like you had like the cape. Where
that was Mario World.
Yeah, I had
so
Mario
it was
World.
the Mario World port for the... Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I have that one.
Yeah, that one was a fun game. I didn't really get too far into it because I got stuck in one of the castles.
Yeah.
Again, I wasn't a big gamer back then, so...
Okay, Chase, your turn. First
so now it's Chase. And
I really don't have much to say in terms of the Game Boy and PlayStation 1. Well, I had a Game Boy Advance, but I never owned any of the PlayStations. It's a sad story, really. But,
I know, like, especially with the PS4 back here, you can't see it,
Whatever.
but
I know
it's here.
some of the series and stuff, but that's because I have friends that played it. But really the systems that I grew up with were the Nintendo 64 was my first system, you know, with all the classics like Ocarina of Time, Super Mario 64, which is personally my favorite Mario, and you know other games like Jet Force Gemini, which a lot of people haven't heard of.
Don't thumbs down Jet Force Gemini.
I don't know it. I don't know it.
You're gonna play
Doesn't mean you gotta thumbs it down. You can't review something you don't know.
I'm sorry. I was following my senpai over
What
here.
did I do? What?
But
I don't know.
yeah, I remember I was like 3 years old when I first played my N64 because we were kind of poor, so it was like the only means of entertainment I had.
It's like all depressed.
You're all depressed.
We have to put in like sad music while he's like talking.
no.
It's like,
But I remember, it was funny because like when you're really little, you're not usually too good at games, So I always played through an Ocarina of Time. I'd get through the Deku Tree at the very beginning, get to Gama, the first boss. I'd be like, Dad, you need to kill him. I can't do that. And so he'd kill him, and then I would progress in the game. And every time I had a boss, I'd just hand it over to him because I couldn't do it, or I was just scared, or a combination of the two. and now it's funny. Now that I'm grown up, now it's Dad being like, Chase, I'm stuck.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know where I am.
It's like,
I'm not
come
good
on.
enough.
And then like you just take it, like give me it.
I'll do it
There.
But I
It takes you
did
two
the same
things.
thing with Bowser. I couldn't beat him either when I was really little, so I had to have Dad help me with that. But yeah, I remember going through all the levels, collecting all the stars, getting new items in Ocarina, and all the those are really the main two. But I remember playing the N64 as a child, and it was just awesome. It was nice. It was new for back then. I don't know. It just all the worlds that it had were just really awesome. And of course, the other system I grew up with was the original Xbox, which I know a lot of people preferred the PlayStation 2 during that time.
Yeah.
And I would personally agree. I never owned, like I said, I never owned any of the PlayStations. But there were a few games that the Xbox had that really made the people that did have an Xbox really enjoy it. And one of those was the original Halo,
Oh yeah, that was a good.
which
game.
is personally my favorite one.
Who
That one-
amongst us have never played Halo?
Amongst here.
Feel free to boo.
the only one that does not play shooters.
The only one who doesn't own, had never owned, and barely played an Xbox of any kind.
Or play shooters
Guilty!
in general.
But it also, because Halo is obviously one of the biggest things that people think of when they hear an Xbox. Now,
Totally.
of course, later when the newer Xboxes came out, people think of Gears of War and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Gears of War.
Well,
little
though even the
interjection-
360 was made, the reason I bought one was because of Halo 3.
Yeah.
It's what sold.
Yeah, yeah.
But, so I
that's-
remember playing a lot of that it came out when I was about 7 years old, and my mother thought it was T, and then when she figured out it was M,
Dear God!
I wasn't allowed to play it anymore, and I was sad because it was fun. Killing all those aliens, I'm like, right? And then I was sad, but then my dad's like, all right, if you do your chores, you'll get like a nickel or a dime or a quarter, and what those actually meant is for every cent that stood for a minute of game time.
That's awesome.
So I'll be like doing all my chores. I'm like, yeah, I built up an hour. I can get to the next level now. So that was pretty fun. And then,
I would imagine you get pretty
of
mad.
course, when I got older, it wasn't a big deal. But
Yeah.
but another game that I really liked was called Blinks the Time Sweeper, and that was a really creative game. Basically, you're like a cat, and you're going through time, and you can like.
It's a platformer, isn't it?
Sort of. It's part platformer, part adventure.
Okay.
And maybe a little bit of action involved, but mostly it's adventure. And of course, it had a really cool concept where you can like time travel, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And games like that, that were original for it, really, it's just memories like that, that really I remember growing up with, being 7 and having to do my chores to play, and then my N64 and having to give my dad off, and but it was fun. I really enjoyed all the things I got to do and experience with these two systems that this guy hasn't gotten to experience in the Xbox.
I actually
but-
do. Okay. I don't know if I ever said this on Trash Talk or even just on camera in general before. I think I told a couple of you guys. I've been pondering getting the first Xbox. If any experience I have with Microsoft and Xbox, it's going to start with the first Xbox.
Then you're gonna move into.
I'm not going to
360.
go into 360 at all. I might get an Xbox One sometime down the road for Sunset Overdrive and Project Spark. If there's any other good ones I end up finding,
Again with Project Spark.
Project Spark is like the only real thing is the Conquer thing. And
Yeah, the Conquer thing though.
Now I
that
never
really
grew up
came-
with Conquer because my second console is not the Nintendo 64. I'll say what it is later, but I came to find out about those games: Banjo-Kazooie, Mario 64, Conquer, and now I want to experience. I have Mario 64 now, but I've always wanted to experience Conquer and Banjo-Kazooie. Never really got the chance to. So when you talk about Conquer and Project Spark, it's like, well, whatever to me. Obviously, to the hardcore Conquer fans, they're like, this is an outrage, whatever. Others are like, well, maybe it could work, I don't know.
Maybe.
And I'm like, okay, hopefully that doesn't bring down the game, but okay. But my first experience and dwelling, dipping my toe into the Xbox pool will be with the first Xbox.
Like I said, there are a few, especially Blinks, I would think you would really like.
I looked it up.
Would be a good start.
This is what I like to do to find newer games, even for those consoles. I like to just go on Wikipedia and be like, list of X consoles games, and I just start like looking at on Wikipedia. There's like the entire huge ass list of every game, whatever region it was. And I'll just read up on it and be like, was this a game I'll enjoy? Maybe. And one of them was Blinks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one I'm kind of looking forward to playing at some point. So Jeremiah's turn, first console or both
Alright.
consoles. Go ahead.
Well, surprisingly enough, I had a lot of consoles growing up. Pretty much everything they listed, because like what you were PlayStation 1, and what was it again?
I haven't gotten to it. I'll get to it later, but it's
Oh, so you only said one?
right now. Yeah, he did
Okay.
too.
Well, no,
Well, he's
talked about
I said
two.
both. I only
Yeah.
said the first one.
Yeah.
Like all these games, especially N64 and Xbox, but like I didn't have an Advance though. I had the Game Boy Color, which was fun. But I won't get too much in that just because you gotta stick with two. But like a lot of these I would have done, and so but since I don't want to repeat some of the same stuff, I'm just gonna stick with the other two systems that I played a lot. One of the first systems I ever got, mainly because my brother had it and I played it, and then he gave it to me when I got older, was the Sega Genesis. I spent hours playing that, all kinds of games, from just to the games you would probably think of, like Sonic 2, all those, to like Aladdin, to one of my favorite games probably ever for the Genesis was Ristar, where you play Star, it's like Alien Star because it's alive, and it's just, I used to spend hours playing that game. It was so much fun. It was my childhood. I want to get it again. That's my goal. I want it. It's on Steam. But so that, like, I loved the Genesis. I spent hours with it. It was like just, that was one of my first systems I got to. So I used to do Sega, was my main thing. But like I transitioned to all the other ones, to Nintendo, to Sony, to Microsoft, Xbox and PlayStation, like all kinds of different things. But that was like the first thing I got introduced. That's the thing I gained the most. Then later on, the next Sega thing that I played a lot with was the Dreamcast. When I got older, this was back when I was like around my 7 to like 12. I just played that all the time. And one game I used to play all the time on it was Sonic Adventures, and then Sonic Shuffle. That game was one of the best games. Actually, no, another game I had. I know I'm listing three, but was what was it? It was Toys. It was, I can't remember the exact name.
Story?
No,
I'm messing with you.
but that was on the Sega Genesis. Yes, I didn't play that on there.
Well, I had Toy Story 2 on the PS1, so...
But no, on
it's
the
fun.
Genesis, it was like just toy or something. I can't remember what it was, but like you would play as like planes or little vehicles and go through a house with just toys. And it was, I forgot the name and I hate myself forgetting it, but it was one of my favorite games ever. So much to the point that both that and all
It
those.
was one of your favorite games ever, and you can't remember
Do you remember the name?
I know, but I'm pretty sure it's just like toy or something,
Okay.
like War Toy War or something.
Wikipedia,
Like
look
that.
it up.
I think it was like Toy War maybe, but like those three games, it's like on that system it would get scratched a lot or something would happen to them. I bought all those games like almost 5 times each, some more than others, like because they would get scratched up and I'm like, oh, it's scratched up. Well, going on eBay, gotta get another one because it's rare. I even got ripped off with the Sonic Adventures once because someone gave me a fake copy. I got pissed off.
Wow.
But I bought that game like 5 times because of how much I love playing that game.
Yeah, I kind of done something similar like that, but it was with Halo 3. Like every time, like no, not ripped off.
Well,
No, I was just like buy it. Like every time I saw it, it's like, oh, Halo 3. I remember having such good times with this game. I'm gonna go buy it. I remember buying it. Me and my brothers, we bought it like between us, like 6 times.
I wanted to get it again, but it's like so dead now.
Yeah.
Well, I still
Like,
have
you-
it.
But like people just don't play it really.
Well, no,
Actually,
like
surprised.
we would just play like the local multiplayer with like the 4 people. Yeah, it would just be me and my brothers playing.
I
didn't
remember
have
when I
it
first
online back
discovered
then.
Xbox Live with Halo 3. I didn't know what it was until I had Halo 3, and I'm like, oh look, this Ethernet cord looks like it can plug into that game. It's just the same shape. I go, and then, welcome to Xbox Live. I'm like, I don't have to play alone anymore.
Nice. Okay, so I guess I didn't get a chance to list off my second console. It's the GameCube, because that was my introduction into Mario and just Nintendo's world. I didn't grow up with, I came to eventually get an NES, an SNES, What are you guys doing to Jeremiah over there?
Stop it!
He's abusing him. I'm just.
I came to get, eventually I ended up getting
Stars.
an NES, an SNES, a 64, but my first Nintendo console was a GameCube. And some of you might know the story from when I talked about it on the Smash Bros. I talked about Smash Bros. It was Smash Bros. 3DS when we went over those, So, God, Mario Sunshine, Smash Bros. Melee, God, there's so many I don't even know. Most of the Mario parties, because there's like at least 4 of them on GameCube. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there were 4 of them. There's so many. I don't know. Crash Tag Team Racing. Some SpongeBob games I have on there too. There's a ton. There's a Legend of Spyro. I have the first Legend of Spyro on GameCube, and I beat it like so many times. So GameCube for introducing me to Nintendo's world and a bunch of the other third-party games and all that, and awesome games. Just awesome games. Shut up.
A dazzling place I never knew. I don't know the rest of the song. I would have joined in, but I'm like, shit, I don't
So my segment's over now.
Okay, so now.
Okay, so I guess we'll just start discussing these ones we just listed. So you guys we've been kind of doing that already, but
Yeah.
we got
Alright.
PlayStation.
We can't fix the camera anymore. No,
Okay, so like 64. Okay, yeah, Mario 64 is totally one of those that is just like you say 64, that's the one you think of, right?
Yeah.
You think of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and then you got Donkey Kong 64. There's a bunch of I don't know, not really. I was gonna say let's rank them, but let's rank them.
We don't need to. Which one would be? Now the ones listed would be the one we would still play now.
We would still play now. Yeah.
Ocarina of Time.
No,
It's only been
not
the
the
game
game,
a
it's the
million
console.
times.
console.
Systems.
I think you meant the game. I was like,
We're just discussing these consoles.
yeah, I
now.
was saying, okay.
well, I mean, Ocarina of Time's on the
Well, yeah, it is
system.
up there.
Well, it was.
Yeah.
Okay, well then let's just do this. How do we feel about 64? Like
I love it.
we've all.
I still play it personally.
I
I'd love
would if it didn't get stolen. I'm still pissed about that. No one knows. I never told you guys.
64.
Before I moved here, I lived in a really crappy town. I'm not going to name it just because I don't know if you guys even want them to know where we live.
Yeah.
But I got robbed twice. The first time they just stole some stuff, like just small stuff because we were just moving in. 2 months later, they robbed me. Xbox, 64, Sega, Dreamcast, everything I used to have. That's why I don't have a huge game collection anymore.
That sucks.
That's great.
Yeah.
That sucks, man.
But if I
Let's
out
all
of
feel
all those,
sympathetic for Jeremiah for a little bit.
Yeah. The only way.
A moment
the
of
only,
silence.
Okay, so
I'm expecting the music.
I'll just put like an aw soundtrack and then like a sound effect, just aw.
But depression aside,
Depression aside.
yeah, aside.
Besides, you know.
Out of those systems that were stolen, the one I would want back the most would probably be the N64. Because, like I said, I liked the Sega, the
Smash
Genesis,
Bros.
and
We
the
didn't say
Dreamcast.
Smash Bros.
But to be completely honest, the ones that I could totally see still playing today, and with just so many games that I loved, was in the 64. Just so many games.
I really can't say N64. I didn't really grow up with it, and then
Okay.
so I think we played
You
it.
played
I
it.
played on it, yeah. But again, I just don't have that emotional connection to it because
Okay.
I just didn't have it back then.
I didn't start to get it until later. Like I just found one at a plane train and I was like, oh
Yeah.
god, yep, I'm getting one because of all those awesome games and everything.
Yeah, so many classics.
PlayStation. You can speak from PlayStation, right? Was it-
Yeah, I had the
So-
PlayStation.
You can't really. I'm sorry, Chase,
I
but-
stopped, yeah, because I think I got PlayStation 1, loved it. PlayStation loved it even more. Kind of what he was saying, how a lot of people like the PlayStation 2 more. I had both the Xbox and the PlayStation 2 at the same time. Though I played more PlayStation 2 just because at the time, without Xbox Live, because I didn't really have it at the time, I had more fun with the PlayStation 2 games. Like, I still played Xbox,
same
but,
here, same here.
but like, if I didn't have someone to play with, it was just, I'm gonna go play some
I
monsters!
guess, yeah, I didn't really discuss this, but even though I wasn't really big in the PlayStation 1, I did start to grow into PlayStation 2. And I had all the PS2 consoles. I probably should have just put that in there, but I didn't.
Well, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
You did it now, so.
Yeah, I did now. I remember like
Well, I mean, I do too. I have so many. Most of the
like
games
I remember
get now.
playing. I remember starting to really get into games when I was playing on my PS2, and the first game I really completed. I don't even know if you know this game. It was a Star Wars game. It was called. No, not Battlefront. It was called Star Wars Pod Racers. Like It was
What
a
the hell was
racing game.
that? God damn it, Chase.
Those were the games I played back then were racing games, and that was the racing game that I got into, and I actually did really well in it. I usually got like first place in every track that I played, and I was like really happy about that.
PlayStation 2 was amongst.
But I remember I wouldn't like call like a victory until I destroyed all the other racers. Like that's how I would play. I would like start in the back. No, I would like start in the back and I would just like ram the shit out of the other people until like their like pods got destroyed. Until like the last person, I'm just like.
Nice. Yeah, there's
Just
so
like,
many
wait there,
classics
man.
in this,
So that was actually my first game that I really got into. It was a Star Wars game.
on PS2. So PlayStation 1, the main focus right now of those PlayStation 1. So you played PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
What other games do you remember? Any true awesome games?
Okay,
on there?
well, I played some Crash and I played Spyro because I remember I told you
These ones
I didn't
are-
have all
no,
the
no.
games, but I
didn't
had
play
one game,
Battlefront 2.
which was
Yeah.
it was a Crash game because the main game was Crash. But if you entered a code, you could also
the demo of
play
Spyro. Yeah.
And so I doubt
I
those.
did that shit all the time. It was brilliant.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I played it all the time. But to be honest, when I think about it, there's two games that I love the most from it. And one was a childhood game that I could never find anywhere else, even though apparently it was on the PC, but I could never find it. I was desperate to find it. Was Lego Island. Was one. I'm pretty sure that was on the PlayStation.
Lego Island?
Lego
I've
Island.
heard of that Lego game.
I never heard that either. Maybe it
I
was, maybe it isn't. Well, maybe it was if you know it.
Well, I
I don't
just
know.
know I remember that game. And I'm pretty sure it was on the PlayStation. It could have been on the PC, but I remember I could have sworn it was on the PlayStation at some point.
Okay.
But the other one was we had Rocket Power. The
Rocket
game.
Power.
I
Nice.
loved playing that game all the
I've
time.
never seen the show, but I know of it, and
I watched that show all the time when I was little. So having that game was like, yeah, and like, Gino, we can hang out.
You said Battlefront 2
Battlefront's
for
awesome.
PlayStation. Although I had it for the
PlayStation.
Xbox. I had the both. I had the Battlefront and Battlefront 2 for Xbox. That was a pretty
Yeah.
good game.
I had
So that was
For the
pretty
PlayStation,
fun.
fun.
was on
I never
PS2.
owned. I never owned a PS2 or any of the PlayStations except the PSP.
Oh yeah.
If that, I mean, it's a PlayStation system in a sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so besides that, but I mean actual like home consoles I never owned. But my friend had one, and I remember one game that I did enjoy was Final Fantasy X. That's I guess that was kind of fun. I'm a really big Final Fantasy fan.
Yeah.
Which is finally, which of course it was for a while mostly a PlayStation thing until 11, 13 run Xbox. I don't know about
I
any of
think
the
it was
others. And then, but there's just recently a lot of them being released to PC, which makes me so happy.
I have friends who are like, yes. I'm like, what? They're releasing it on Steam or whatever. And I'm like, I've never played it, but okay.
Final Fantasy 13 comes out for the PC on the 9th of October, which is in like a week.
Oh, we forgot to mention, we're filming this on the day of somebody's birthday.
Oh.
Hey, happy birthday to me!
We completely.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, our birthday to all of us, because our birthdays have all passed at this point.
Yeah.
So.
But it's my
we're all
birthday
It's his
today.
birthday currently.
Yeah, so
Nice.
We
Shut
can
up.
punch him a lot.
So comment happy birthday or whatever in the comments. But be sure to put like belated because of course. Okay, so yeah, PlayStation because I didn't get to mention. I mentioned some of them, but Spyro and Crash were ingenious to me because of just the level design. Because okay, well, especially even with Crash, I mean, 3D nice. 3D games were becoming like a big thing around that time. So PlayStation came around the time that 3D games were really starting to get big, right?
Yeah.
So, with Crash, Spyro, Tekken, those games like revolutionized, or off the bat, 3D gaming because they were one of the first of its kind and they did really, really well. Are you guys done arguing whenever I talk about
hey,
my
look,
games?
someone dropped a 20.
No!
Fine.
Oh my god.
I'm listening. I'm just.
Fine.
Multitasking.
I'm a fidgety person.
Yeah, if I was sitting right now, my leg feels because I can't.
So how do we feel about
move it.
PlayStation? You haven't played it, but amongst the three of us.
My foot fell asleep and you stepped on. Okay.
How do we feel about PlayStation, damn it?
Someone's
PlayStation was
It's
okay,
okay.
but I prefer the PlayStation 2 because that's the one that
Yeah.
I really got into.
Like, I loved the PlayStation, but I really loved the PlayStation 2. Even though after that, I completely stopped with
I love PS1 and 2, but when you get down to just the retro-ness of it, the more memorable games and everything, I have to go PS1. It's what I grew up with. It's what... most of those games were really intricate, even analyzing them now with the mindset I think and now. They were really ingenious and still are to this day, so...
And like I said, I can't really have
You
much to
can't.
say, besides the fact that I played a little bit at my friend's house and it was fun. I mean...
so I guess
Really, yeah,
Game Boy. Who said both of you said Game Boy?
Yeah.
The Advanced Color.
I never played a color. One of my friends had a color, and I played it at his house, and it was fun. But I had the Advanced SP. The
SP.
Oh yeah, I had that too.
I hated that one because
Really?
all my
Why?
friends had it.
Nice, because he didn't have one.
Yeah.
Did you ever own a Game Boy?
I had the Advance and the SP,
Awesome.
and then a DS. I never got the 3DS, but
New one.
yeah, I mean, dude, I had like 3 level 100 Pokemon. I had all the rare ones. I was like, yeah, and my sister thought that there was more than one save file.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I've been there.
sucks.
I've been there.
Oh jeez.
She
We
still
don't
had
know
more
the-
than once, by the way.
Oh well, that's more than the loss of like all of his Pokemon that did not survive.
That's hundreds of hours gone.
wasted away.
I mean, I got robbed in
by
my
no, by a
house.
second of. Are you sure? Yes.
Well, it's like I got robbed and lost my.
It's like
innocence.
condemning someone to death. No, don't. Are you sure you want to kill him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom. That person's dead.
But like I was saying, I got robbed and lost my innocence. But he lost hours of Pokemon. He needs more mourning.
I played.
More for these
Let's just
two
say,
sad
same
people.
thing sort of happened with me with Ocarina.
Because you got
Someone decided, oh hey, there's 3 save files. I'll just pick a random one. I was like, this one's not even a save
Yeah,
one. This one was made yesterday.
My sister, she's done that to me on Pokemon. She did that to me on Twilight Princess. I was like 2/3 of the way through the game. Saved over. I'm like,
Oh god.
what? And then of
Oh.
course I didn't play that game for like 6
The only
months.
time,
Yeah.
the only time I ever lost my save files is, and mostly on the GameCube for some reason, which I found really annoying. Has anyone ever come across that damn freaking your memory card is corrupted? Do you want to format it?
Yes. Oh my god.
All files, all games. Wiped
When you
out.
first learn what, that's when you first learn what that word means.
I know, corrupt and format. You're like,
Like,
well,
oh, format. Okay,
No.
that's gonna
Have you
fix it, right?
has
No.
anyone done
Like,
this to
sort of.
you? Like you're playing a game, you're almost like done with it, and then like this is more like a checkpoint.
insufficient memory on memory
Well,
card.
yeah, like it was more like a checkpoint thing, but like you leave and then like because like you're probably doing something and you forgot, and then like they turn it off and you're like, fuck, I forgot to save. God damn it!
Oh my god, that's horrible.
That would piss me. That pissed me.
I
That
don't
happened
think
to
it's
me
ever happened to me personally,
constantly.
but that's
It's like I want to play on the game. I want to still play. Like
Whoa!
The one that happens too is you're on like super hard game or something. You finally get through a checkpoint. You're like, yes, I finally did it, and then the power shuts off.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I
Yeah.
guess this is all happened to us.
Yes.
Then you have to go and play Scrabble or freaking tic-tac-toe and such shit until the power
It's like dark. You're
Unless
like
you have
trying
no
to play a
technology
board
to
game
go-
with flashlights.
It's like, and they're kicking you while you're down. It's like, it's already bad enough to pound out and you lost all that and you're going to go back later. It's like, we're going to kick you now. Now go play some Scrabble to keep your mind busy.
I didn't
So-
have any of that stuff back then. I didn't. I think I might have a few board games, but they were all ruined. So once like the power went out, I was like, I'm going to bed.
This.
It like, always happened at like night too, and it was like,
Yeah.
well, now I have no choice but to go
Yeah.
to bed now.
It's like always at 9 on the clock. It's like secretly his parents were shutting off the power because he wouldn't go to sleep.
Have any of you ever accidentally turned off the system while it was saving?
Yes.
You know what my brother did once? Because he was always so good at doing it. Is when I was on my Dreamcast. The first few times he did it, I wasn't used to it. So he'd go up to the power button and go flick, flick, flick. Like he'd flick it really fast, and I'd be like, ah! And nothing would happen because he does it so fast. I'm like, okay. But then one time I was trying to beat a level and I came over to do it. He didn't do it fast enough. So it shut off on me. I was like so pissed.
Oh my god.
I didn't even know back then.
Okay, so any other consoles we want to go over that we listed?
Didn't list.
Xbox, PlayStation, Game Boy,
I think that was it.
GameCube, 64.
Oh, the retro systems. That's
Yeah.
Well, that's what we listed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the Sega stuff, we can't really speak from experience.
I can. Yeah. From back then, I can't speak from experience. I have played a Dreamcast on my cousin's a long time ago when we used to have it, and he had some Sonic games. It was fun. My brother recently got a Genesis, but see, that's just modern now time. From back then when I was little, not so much. I mean, Dreamcast kind of, but again,
I'm surprised no one
cousins.
even bothered mentioning like this NES or something.
I never
Did
owned
the
it.
Daniels grow up with it, or
Yes,
the one in
Super and SNES, like because
Super is the SNES.
I know,
NES and
I
SNES.
know. But okay, what are the two?
NES,
SNES.
SNES. So
Okay,
it's the NES
whatever.
and SNES.
I had both. I
The
didn't have
Super
both. My
NES.
grandparents had
Well,
both, and I
I had Super
spent
NES.
most of my childhood over there, hanging out a lot, even though it was like an hour away. My parents just dropped me off there. No, but like, okay, so I played Genesis there, but even though I had it, so I didn't play it that much. What I mainly played was the NES, and then until they upgraded to they had the Super Nintendo,
Okay.
and then like I played all the time. So I played all that Mario RPG. I played Duck Hunt. One of my favorite. Oh no, my favorite, and I keep forgetting the name, and I've looked it up multiple times. Is this name? It's a space shooter. It's side scroller, and I can't remember the name, even though I've looked it up multiple times.
Radius?
Huh?
Radius?
Thank you.
Is that really what it was?
Yeah, the one where you get power ups.
Sure. I've only ever seen it. I've never played it. But
Hey, Marcelo, you got
I
it.
just-
I'm pretty sure I
I
know
just
where
threw
you've
it out
seen
there.
it. I know where you've seen it.
Yeah, no, that should be like real. That no, you win a prize. Here you go.
Don't
So-
tab you.
okay, well.
But you only get to keep it for a second.
Just because I was strapping on.
But yes,
Strap
thank you.
on.
I was gonna.
I'm
strap
pretty
on.
sure. Wait, I
What?
think it's Gradius.
Well, there's also Parodius. Which
It's
is like,
definitely not Proteus.
okay.
But anyway, it was a side scroller. It was like it was my favorite game to play on there, probably all except for
Yeah,
like
there's
Mario
tons of side
RPG.
scroller shooters.
Yeah.
And of course, I obviously
Mario
played
RPG, did you say that?
Mario RPG.
I want that game so bad.
I played it. I beat it before. It is fun.
I want it so bad.
It is
I've been
a
wanting it
fun
for years
game.
already.
It is. I wish they would make an RPG too.
Yeah.
That like it would.
I
be
mean, they
amazing.
regarded Mario in Japan. They regard Mario,
Yeah.
Paper Mario,
Oh.
as Mario RPG 2. But it's more of an other Mario.
I
RPG
want to see a
series.
Mario Galaxy style.
It's the spiritual
RPG.
successor to Mario RPG because it is also in itself that series, Paper Mario and RPG.
But then, like, of course, I played like the classic Super Mario Bros. And stuff like that.
Totally.
Though
I brought that today.
back then,
Actually.
when I was younger, I wasn't worried about beating games as much as I was just like
Playing
bored.
through them, I
So,
guess.
well, so I've only like for the most of my childhood, I played through the first like 5 levels of Super Mario Bros.
Yeah.
And then never went further than that. But either by the time I hit the 5th level, I either quit or died. So I never really got to the 6th level,
Nice.
unless like you just the cheat too.
All the
Alright.
secrets and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so we went on for quite a long while there.
Yeah.
That's all the consoles. Which one do we think? Oh, so now what we're gonna do is which one of the ones we've listed, the 2 each, so what, 8? How many? So of those, which one can we all equally just say we could all play?
Well,
the
that's
game?
kind of hard because
Because so
pretty
many
much
of us-
all of us have. There's like 3
There's
of us,
one.
and then there's one of us
there's
that's like
this one that
what?
we all have to kind of.
Yeah.
Well,
Have we listened to those?
the 3 of us were like the whole. What were we?
We were PlayStation,
But I,
you guys
I still
were,
go with
um,
N64.
We were 64. We were PlayStation.
Yeah.
We were Xbox.
You were
Yeah,
Xbox.
it's like
I
that's
didn't
pretty
play
much
them.
how it is. It's like
How about
just-
GameCube? Yeah, no, you haven't had GameCube.
I
Okay, you didn't do
only
Nintendo at
cousin
all.
had it. My cousin.
So what's and then we got Sony. This is hard.
we have
okay,
3.
then-
I think it's obvious that 3 are probably. Though
Then let's
to
just
be
go-
fair, Xbox like that so much retro, even
Then-
though it is the first one.
Okay, so now that we haven't had, okay, let's just try this then. It's a little bit cheating, I guess, but we've played one that we've kind of listed about like nowadays, I guess. I guess like how we were saying, NES, SNES. Now, most of us have already played those. You had your hand at SNES,
Yeah.
and NES, and then you've played it. So now I guess this is kind of hard.
The one I think we all have done is the Game Boy.
Game Boy.
From what I understand, that sounds like.
Oh yeah, huh? We
Game
did.
Boy.
all did Game
Yeah,
Boy.
so I
Is that the one that came out on top?
I don't think so because I only played like 2 games on that. Though my favorite
Pokemon and Super Mario World
But
2.
you have
No.
friends with it.
game I played my entire life and beat like 100 times was Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong Country?
No,
Oh, just Donkey Kong.
Just Donkey
oh,
Kong?
yeah, no. There's a
Oh,
there's
yeah,
a
I-
Game Boy port of Donkey Kong.
Okay.
which is so much better than the original, by the way.
Whatever.
Because
Because
I
it
had
has more levels, has more stuff in it.
Well, yeah, they added that in later, but that's a classic, man. Yes, it's classic.
Okay, then let's not just do
I don't
one.
care.
Let's
Okay.
let's just do like
A
the main
couple?
3 or so.
I
Yeah.
was thinking
Alright.
the handheld and
Which
top
was
one since it is.
so
Game Boys for the handheld and for the first one of 3 that I guess we'll do
okay.
is Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
The Game Boy Advance and
I mean,
SP.
because Game Boy
yeah.
Advance, you did, but SP is just about the same thing.
It's the same thing. It just
Yeah.
flips,
Well, I
and it
never
has
did
a light
Advance.
button.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the freaking yeah. If you wanted to play the original Game Boy Advance, you have to put a flashlight on that shit at night because they had no backlight.
Yeah, you had to have.
I
You
know.
had to have your CD.
I hate playing it in the dark.
SP
It's like,
included a
what am I
backlight,
doing? Where are the Goombas? I cannot see. Must hit the
Oh,
lights.
and then you do this one hand, like, or you put it in your mouth. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm doing it.
I did that multiple times. I would get those little small ones, just go like.
I should be careful not to swallow this, but I'm beating the level. Your mom comes in. Help! I'm dying.
So Game Boys
Game
are
Boys.
dangerous.
But we can all agree that we've had so much fun with it.
Yeah.
So that's one of them then. It stands up today. We can always just, it's on the go, so we can always just play it wherever, whenever.
Alright, then the next one I would probably say would be the PlayStation 2, because you all liked that.
PlayStation 2.
And then, like I said, I didn't really own one, but I did have a good experience when I did play it at someone else's house.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Alright
we
then.
can
So,
agree.
PS2.
And then, third one,
Third one.
I guess it would be the NES or SNES.
But I never played those. So,
Until recently. But I mean,
Yeah, it's still recently,
I'm
yeah.
still up for this.
64? 64? I mean,
Well,
it
who,
should have
I forget, one of
been.
you,
No.
neither of you have played it? Or.
Not when I was little. I have
Okay,
one
so
now.
yeah, that's right, because that was the 3 thing I was saying.
But
But, it was probably, because like, there's a lot of games on there I would still want to play right now.
So,
PS2, Game Boy Advance, Xbox, the first one because I never played it.
yeah.
You guys had, right?
We'll just stick with those two.
yeah, I think if
Let's
we
just-
talk,
Official, those are the 2, but
Then how about-
technically we have 4. All of us, we technically have 4.
yeah, we do.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm confused. Which
Despite even the fact that I'm like going N64 even though I didn't even say that on my list.
one? But we could still agree that's fun, I guess. I mean, we're just talking about retro consoles in general. So
I know,
it
but I'm
doesn't
just
really
saying
matter.
we have
Yeah.
like from what we can see, there's at least 4 that are trying to trying
Okay.
to figure out which 2 we want.
Oh, so
but-
Nintendo 64, PS2, Game Boy Advance. You said there's a fourth one.
Did you say the Xbox?
No, but you can, because again, I would like to try it. So, you guys have already played it.
I know,
you
but
guys
that's
love it.
like out of the 3 of us, that makes it the 4th.
Oh, well then, okay.
Because otherwise,
I mean,
otherwise
okay, fine,
N64
it's okay.
wouldn't even be.
I mean, we need something to vouch for. So I don't give a shit.
You should throw it
He's
in
just
there.
like no,
No, I was
not on my
I
show.
was trying to be more optimistic. Like, okay, you play with it. I never have, but hey, let's throw a Microsoft console in there.
Just so Microsoft feels loved.
Yeah, sure.
Especially
so-
what's going on right now.
With Xbox One, but we've talked about
They're,
this so many times.
they're fixing some of their stuff.
I guess.
And from what I've seen, and because they fixed some of stuff at the beginning, like I said, some of the output they're portraying is not as bad as we expected it to be. Like, I think it feels like to me
Yeah.
personally that they realized that they did put too much entertainment. And now they're trying to.
They realized they effed up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're like,
pretty much.
oops.
So.
Because everyone who's watching, who might be younger than us, might be a bit older than us, what are you doing? If you were in the generation of the NES and SNES when they were like new and you were like an 80s kid, then you could even still vouch for us being 90s kids of, yeah, that was new even in its own time period. It's 3D games and all that. So like for most of the ones we listed, Xbox, PS2, GameCube, PS1 even.
I like how the only non-3D one we picked was the really not 3D one, which is the Game Boy. Like, when you really think about it, it's like the least 3D one we could have looked.
2000s kids, more modern kids, I would say give these ones a try, because if you haven't already.
Most of you have tried Xbox, and probably N64.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
and PS2.
Yeah, PlayStation.
So pretty much just try the Game Boy Color or Advance.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
Yeah.
Nintendo handhelds are not just DS kids, there's also Game Boy, and even Game & Watch that started off, we didn't even say about that, but whatever.
But really, you should.
But,
you shouldn't just base systems off of bad reviews too, because all of
Yeah.
them, even if they're a poor system, all of them have at least 1 or 2 things about them that are good.
Totally. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
So for our 4
Well,
consoles
not the
that
Virtual Boy though.
we never speak about the Virtual Boy, Wes. I thought we made that pact that we just made right now. That wasn't funny. Anyway, our 4 consoles that we late reaction much. The 4 consoles that we say amongst us, our opinions that can
No.
still Shut up. It can still stand up today just as great as the PS4, Xbox One, all that Wii U, would be the PS2, the Game Boy Advance, the first Xbox, and what was the other one?
Nintendo 64.
Nintendo 64. So
give these a try.
give them a try if you haven't. It's been fun talking for forever about all these consoles. There's so many memories that we've had with all these consoles, and I just, all we can really say is if you just haven't tried them before, do them now.
Yes.
So I guess that's
The only last memory I have that doesn't really, it's not really a console, but it was when I was on my computer when I was like 3, I'd always be on those like flash game websites.
Did you ever play the Hot
Yo-yo
Wheels
games?
No.
There's this PC game I used to play a long time ago. It's called Rover. Has anyone heard of Rover? You're this little explorer guy, and there's like an electrical fence or whatever. And there's these fences and these gates that block off. It's basically like a maze, and you go right to find your dog. It was Rover. So you have to find your dog, and it's just.
Of course.
I'm just saying.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
You have to like navigate. I don't know why I'm explaining it because you guys never played it, but I liked it a lot.
Alright.
But it's fun. So that's the finale of Trash Talk. I guess before we sign off, we'll let's just go ahead. Come on, let's all. Oh my god.
Marcelo, join in.
We're adults and then we're kids, so that was fun.
And then I'm an ass.
Damn it. You didn't kill anything that time.
So while these guys are patty caking, wait, we're not done. Hold on.
Wow.
While a bar fight breaks out over here, I guess we'll just talk about what's going on with Arc 4 and the future of Trash Talk. So we've been trying to get some connections here and there, and we are planning. Not sure just yet. We're not going to say the actual name of the site. We might end up on a certain gaming site, and I'll give more information as it comes. We'll also be getting some, we'll be having some more music, our own original music on the show. We're going to be filming HD finally.
I know.
So,
finally.
Arc 4 is going to be revamped, and the topic is sequels. So,
Yo, wait, did you already say how we're gonna have a new intro?
we're going to be having a new intro animated
music,
by a
hopefully.
certain someone. Someone's going to animate our intro for us.
Wait,
you want to keep that a secret?
No, I'm saying how is that going?
Oh, I don't know yet. I'll talk to you about it later. So, Trash Talk, Arc 3 is finally done, and here's the
With
future.
that, and then with that,
I'm Mark.
I'm Wes,
I'm Chase.
I'm Jeremiah.
and this was Trash Talk.
What they said.
Yeah! Throw it. Okay, you have to throw it. Actually throw it.
Oh. God.